Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Lone from NightOwl Central, and we're going to be playing Hearts of Iron 4 as the German Reich. Now, this is episode 3, and we have been able to really sort of solidify our area and to kind of just sit back for a little while to get some more of our equipment in and to push the Soviets back. Currently, we're at war with the Soviet Union and friends, and then, which they're still only at volunteer only. I mean, there's, and then also the Allies, which is England and friends. England and friends aren't looking so good on the troop side of things, but yeah. We're seem to be pushing here in the north, right here, near Berlin, and hopefully we can push a little bit more. However, with the equipment side of things, we're actually quite behind in technology. We only have tier 1 anti-air and anti-tank. We aren't really making any. Most of all of our airplanes are tier 1, so we need to start upgrading them and really solidifying that. And then our Navy is below par as well. We haven't really been focusing on that. We've been focusing on just, the military and just pumping out as many units as possible. But now is the time to kind of sit back and to focus on building our Navy and our Air Force. Air Force primarily. And so, with that, we're going to skip ahead a bit and see what all happens. Because we got a good 99 days, see 99, 99, 96, 99, 163 before we can actually start upgrading our Air Force. So we'll see what happens within that time frame. See if we can push a little bit more in this northern front right here. See what happens in Greece, because we are actually getting wrecked in Greece. And then just see what happens in general. There's another thing, is that currently Turkey is at 59% fascism. Portugal is at 60% fascism. Switzerland is at 52%. Brazil is at 53%. And the United States is at 51%. And currently, the United States is actually looking to justify a war goal against us. So, we'll see what happens, because, Portugal, Turkey, and Switzerland can all join in, but then also the United States is joining the war, and so I don't know how it's going to go, but we'll see. It's been a year since the last time I filled you guys in on what's happened, and not much has happened, but there are a few significant things. The first one is that Greece capitulated. However, the Allies were able to push and actually take most of it back, at least, this southern part, but they were actually pushed all the way out. So they're officially capitulated. We took all of their equipment and whatnot. The Bohemian Empire, or Czechoslovakia, joined Axis. So we were actually able to take the Russians off guard there for a bit, and we were pushed up, like right as so, and then that's where we were stopped. But other than those two things, there is not much to say on the Soviet war right now. We're just still at a standstill. We're just trying to sit back and hope that we can hold them off enough for us to gain a technological advantage. And both, or actually, Turkey turned fascist, so now they are the Turkish Empire. We also have Switzerland that turned fascist, and they are called the Swiss Imperial Confederation. We also have Portugal that turned fascist, and they are called Greater Portugal. So all three of those are now extremely friendly. And Norway is at 49%. But Ireland joined allies, so that's another sort of weird side thing. The United States joined in on the war, 100%. So now they're sending over their men and fleets and whatnot. Japan seems to be just killing it, just killing it. Oh, whoa, are they at war with the Soviets as well? Ah, they are. I forgot about that. I forgot that they're at war with the Soviets, and it seems they are at war with the Allies as well. Okay, they are. They're at war with the Soviets. Whoa, no wait. Yeah, Soviets, Allies. Okay, so we are pretty much 100% allies with Japan and friends. Okay, well, good. Well, two things just happened. The first one is that Greater Portugal joined Axis. And then the second one is that the Turkish Empire actually joined the East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. So they are actually allied with Japan, which means that, okay, ask for military access. Okay, they weren't actually allowing me to go through their territory, but now that they did, that's great, because now I can actually shore up their line against the Soviet Union, because, yeah. Oh, and free France. Ooh. Who are they at war with right now? The Allies for now. Oh, and the Soviet Union. Okay, there you go. Yeah, and so the Soviet Union's gonna fucking just come in and just demolish them. And so I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm really surprised that they joined the East Asian Coast Prosperity Sphere. Just, I don't know. I didn't invite them fast enough, I guess. Who knows? We have been able to start a coup in the United States, which pretty much just means that the U.S. is out of the war now. However, they did join Japan in the East Asian Coast Prosperity Sphere, and they are currently fighting it out. Was not expecting them to have this much land, but it's pretty awesome. The Hellenic Republic. Okay. Alright. I have to say this right now. So, I've never had this happen. I should probably get the radio. But Greece turned into the Hellenic Republic. At the moment, the Free American Empire is kicking ass. They're really doing a number. Oh, and apparently the Republic of Guatemala has joined allies, and they're right here. So, whatever. And at the moment, nothing's really happened. The Dominican Republic joined Greater East Asian Coast Prosperity Sphere. Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice. Alright, we got Brazil in on this too. I can stop with the cancel boost popularity. Alright, cool. But yeah, I mean, not much has happened besides what we just showed you. The rest of the world is actually joining in. El Salvador, look, whoa. Okay. Alright, well that's interesting. Let's look at the factions map. Okay, so Dominican Republic and then El Salvador. Is that, no, yeah. Alright, so the world is starting to take sides, and Switzerland joined the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, and so that was a surprise. I don't really understand it, but I mean, okay. China, since Japan has gone more towards like helping the United States and going after the Soviet Union, China has actually taken back the majority of the land that Japan took, which is highly unfortunate. But who knows? Maybe Japan will fall and well, in the end, I don't really know. Republic of Guatemala capitulated. That was quick. El Salvador just wrecked them. What? Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Yeah. So there's actually right now there's 3 fascist superpowers, and the reason why I don't really care if China or Japan wins is because Japan is fascist. Japan has the United States and everybody else in their faction, but China is also fascist. They're like their entire faction, the Chinese United Front, is fascist. So like there's 3 fascist factions right now: Axis, the Chinese United Front, and the East Asian Coast Prosperity Sphere. So it doesn't really matter which one wins or loses, because in the end they're just using up their troops fighting each other, and that's good for us because well, we're not fighting them, and since we're fascist, we all like each other. Hopefully, once they stop fighting each other, then China will turn around and hit the Soviet Union or something. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens, really, in the end. But we've pretty much maxed out on a lot of the aerial technologies. So our Air Force is building jet planes right now, and I'm also getting anti-air everywhere, just because why not? Yeah, we upgraded the laws to extensive conscription, and that just makes it so that your training time for units is plus 10%. But other than that, not much has happened. Oh, whoa, wait, I mean, Turkey got wrecked. Surprisingly enough, it wasn't the Soviet Union, it was actually the Allies that wrecked Turkey. Whatever. England decided to take the boot, or kind of. They still haven't taken the tip, you know, your toes right here, but I don't know. It's like, okay, whatever. We started to defend Spain with, oh, the U.S. capitulated. Yes. Huzzah. Now they're going to hit Canada. They're going to wreck Canada. And then they're going to turn around and start attacking down here. It would be interesting if Brazil made its own fascist faction. And then they fought. I don't know. But anyway. Now the United States is going to help Japan. So they're going to send all of their troops west and go and hit... Ooh, no, they'd probably attack Australia. Now that I'm thinking about it. They might just go straight south and hit Australia and all of these guys down here, and then carve up British Raj and China. Yeah, they're going to help Japan, obviously, yeah, but, I mean, I think they're going to come down through here. That would be interesting to see, because then they liberate the Dutch East Indies for us. Okay. Alright, I can see it. Oh no. Oh, fucking Italians. Yeah, sure, whatever. Every time. Italy. Alright. Well, we'll see what happens. We've continued to expand in our technology. We're currently building up a larger navy, and also upgrading all of our artillery and our air to tier 3. We also have jet fighters. We currently have 100 right now. So building that up, we're trying to get that up, and then we're going to send them into the field. However, also, Canada just capitulated to the United States, or the Free American Empire. So the U.S. is wrecking, and that's fun. It's very fun. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, not much to say. Japan's holding out pretty well. And the Soviet Union hasn't really been attacking much. I don't really know what that's all about. But they haven't done much of a push at all. And it's just down here in Greece and in Turkey and sometimes in the coastlines that we've been attacked. Other than that, not much at all. But yeah, so we'll continue forward. Okay, so the the Mexican fascists declared war against Mexico, and somewhere else there was a revolution. Is it Argentina? Yes, the Argentinian League, which is a fascist Argentinian faction, declared war against Argentina. So, fascists are popping up. Das ist cool. I'm wondering when Brazil's gonna join a faction. Like, I know that they're... Oh. Who is these? Oh. Yes. Norway. Yes. Thank you. It's been a year since, or roughly about a year. It's February 14th, 1946 in the game. And not much has happened. The major thing is that the United States is now the Free American Empire, and that South America is starting to turn fascist as well. Japan and China seem to be at a standstill right around here, so there's not really much going on in that region. we also are at a standstill. However, we have been pushing slightly against the Soviets, just a little bit here and there up in the Bohemian region. However, the major problem is that the Allies just keep beaching along in Italy and in the coastlines over here in the Baltic region. Or not Baltic, sorry. Balkans. The Balkans. And so that's the major problem that we're having. And so at the moment, we've been building up our Navy, we've been building up our Air Force primarily. So our Air Force is going to go out and deal with a lot of the problems that we've been having with the Allies and the Soviets. They just have a massive Air Force, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, so we're going to try to deal with that. Well, we've done quite a bit, and quite a lot has happened in the last year. We've been able to build up a substantial Air Force so that we can defend the waterways from enemy ships, and then also the central regions and bordering regions as well. We've also been able to push on the Soviet line, and pretty much just we haven't stopped pushing. We just continually going. We just broke them, and I believe that right now, yeah, they don't have any manpower, and either with Poland or any of their allies, the Soviet Union's pretty much just screwed. They need to upgrade their laws, and they haven't done it yet. So we're just pushing, and we'll see how far we can get. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, no, that's not good at all. We gotta get these guys out of here. Come on. But yeah, also in Turkey, we have been able to push out a bit. It's primarily Belgium. This is like Belgium's frontier. I don't really get why, but there we go. As you can tell, we have a lot of ships that we've been sinking. For this one in particular, we lost 11 airplanes and sunk 27 convoys. And it's kind of that way all the way around. Here we destroyed a carrier. Then here we lost 4 airplanes, and we took down a destroyer and almost 50, it was 49 convoys worth of troops. And I mean, we just go down the line and we're just wrecking them one way or another. Wow, over here we have over 80 convoys we took out, and it just keeps going. And we've been doing that for at least half the year. So, I mean, at this point, yeah, we've reduced the British Navy to nothing. They used to have over 200 ships, and now they have 29. So, not looking so good for them, yeah. Bulgarians just gave us some troops. What to do with them, what to do. Well, I'll just put them right there. Japan is doing well. It's really not much else to talk about. Canada and the United States are both fucked. Free American Empire is ruling everywhere, as far as the Americas are concerned. And we've been able to push out. It's been good. It's been very good. Currently, our army is 5 million strong. We have 172,000 pilots in the air. We have 130 people in the Navy, 130,000 in the Navy, yet our Navy has not left port. We have 223 ships in our Navy, and we have not left port, primarily because I don't want to use them up just yet. I want to wait until we have some carriers, until we have a good variety of ships, and then I'll build a bunch of different fleets and send them out there. And we're still building up our tech, too. A lot of the ships that are in our Navy are low tier or low level. So, yeah, and once we get all of these to level 4 or tier 4, 1944 level ships, then we can look at sending them out into the waters and having them fight. But let's look at Russia. Still at 0. Wow. I wonder if Japan's messing with them too. And speaking of Japan, the Japanese-Chinese war hasn't really changed much. Surprisingly enough, it's still at a standstill. China has 57 million manpower, and they're still at volunteer only, and Japan's down to 800,000. They're at service by requirement, so they still have 15% of their population they can call in, but China isn't even past volunteer only. Well, I guess all the other Chinese states have sunken all of their resources, though. So, okay. Well, it seems like reorganized nationalist China is the only one with manpower. The rest of them are all scraping the barrel. So you can see that's where most of Japan's resources have gone. I wanted to take a look at the allies and or just our enemies' deaths and our deaths. Currently we have almost 17 million deaths, losses on our side, and we're fielding between 16 million and 18 million active manpower at all times. Our enemies are currently fielding 6 million to 8 million active manpower and have lost almost 39 million troops. The UK has lost 5.8 million And out of that, I've killed 2.9. British Raj is at 1.3 million. Free France, 1.2. The United States had, prior to capitulating and losing most, if not all, of its territory by now, had lost 2.8 million, almost 2.9 million troops. Now the big one over here is the Soviet Union that has lost 20 million troops. And out of those 20 million, I've destroyed 14 million. So... it's a fucking slaughter. But currently, I think that Italy is the largest contender or largest donator of bodies for the war effort. They're at 3.4 million right now donated total. And yeah. Nobody else has given that much. But, I mean, that's how it always is. Italy is just ridiculous when it comes to this, to losing troops. I don't know what it is. I think that they just rush in, like, headlong, and they don't suit up their divisions with any sort of tech, or any equipment, really. But, yeah. So... with that sort of update, I'm going to say that this is the end of the episode. So I do hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and comment what you thought. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks.